and then the blogs kept coming. But now, and so here's the question, how does it feel that when you put something out on Facebook, you're basically drizzled with likes and shares? This blog's really popular, as you know, you've just, what was it you just won?
Best New Blog 2016.
So, fantastic. But the blog has really found its audience, isn't it?
Yeah.
Joking aside, how's that been for you? How, as a new parent, has that influenced you as a parent, if at all?
It's great to have an outlet for something. I think that's what I wanted to do at the start, was have an outlet for what I wrote, because I do stand up, I do the comedy clubs every weekend, and that's great. But you can talk about what you want, but you've got to make sure you make everyone laugh for 20 minutes constantly, or else you haven't really done your job. So certain gigs you've got to go in a different direction. So it was really nice to be able to get an audience for writing stuff, because I've never really written anything before.
Some serious stuff as well.
Some serious stuff. Yeah. Oh, I mean, I'd say the first 6 months of the blog was it was told with a humorous eye, but it was certainly, some subjects were very, very serious, and trying to write about that. So not just getting people liking stuff because it's funny, but getting people liking it because hopefully they like the way it was written.
And you've got a particular style, haven't you? I remember you started not only with the blogs, you had the lists as well.
Yeah.
Where did that come? Was that the comics instinct in you? Was it an exercise, or was it a desire to reach new audiences?
No, the list was totally. Do you know what? It was 12 months ago this weekend that I did the first list, because the comedy festival was on, and I had no time to write a blog, and I hadn't written a blog for a while. So, Helen's in, everyone. Yay! 1 second, love, I'm just getting interviewed myself. So, but yeah, so that was a year ago, and that was purely because I suppose a cynical person would go, well, people like lists, they're very accessible, and perhaps that's how I view them now, because I think,
but in simple terms, they're very, very funny.
Well,
and I think they're funny, genuinely, both as a parent myself, but also just as someone who, I enjoy your blog, and I enjoy lots of blogs, but it's just, those lists really, really resonated, and I think perhaps it was with the mist of time as a parent who, my kids now can wipe their own bums mostly. But it's like, there is part of me that reads it and goes,
yeah.
I'm glad it's him, not
me.
Me.
Yeah, exactly, and it's like what you said, it's going to get worse, or that's going to happen to you. That's what a lot of parents have done. I suppose from a practical point of view, it's meant that if I've got a problem with something, or if I'm struggling with something, I suppose as a comedian, you're very used to bearing your soul on stage and being honest about stuff. So people gave me a lot of positive comments at the beginning, saying, "Oh, I'm just really glad someone's being so honest about it." But as a comic, I'm just like, well, isn't that what you do? Otherwise, it's not funny, is it? If you put that Instagram filter that makes everything look perfect.
Instagram works.
Instagram? How good's that? Makes everything look so. Look at this wedding photo. It's like those when they have crackheads celebrity filter thing. Anyway, I digress. But yeah, to have, I suppose as a comic, you try to speak the truth. You try to say it with as few words as possible, and that's probably makes it easier to read, and especially amongst I mean, there's so many parent blogs, and so many of them are just very badly written, or they're written in a way that's, today was fabulous. He smiled and then he passed me something. Oh my god, my kids are amazing. Like, whoa! Who wants to read that? I want to read about, I got shit in my eye today, and it was awful. Like, that's much more entertaining, isn't it, than saying something great. Do you want to start us off? Just tell us how many kids you've got.
I have 3, so they deal with it.
Deal with it's the best way to do.
I think. And I've got a blog as well, and I find that rather than the blog generating material, I find that there's things that I think, oh, this is really funny, and I try it on stage, and it just doesn't work in stand-up, so I use it in my blog instead.
Oh, okay, so it's like a drip tray of ideas, just the stuff that doesn't.
Yeah, it is.
But I think there's a lot of ideas, isn't there, which work in one format and not another, so you just got to kind of figure out where the outlet is.
Definitely, yeah, but I don't know about you, but I've got like a massive drawer full of bits written on the back of envelopes, and things like, you think, oh, this is a funny line, I'll write that in the screenplay, I'll put that in the play, I'll put that in the blog, I'll put that in the stand-up, and then you think, when am I ever going to go through this drawer? And like, so every so often I'll go through it and think, oh, that's really good, and I still don't bloody do anything with it.
That'd be a great tagline for a beer. When I get that PR agency off the ground, I'll be using that material that's not there.
Yeah.
So 3 kids, so you mentioned that obviously one's going to be 18 and autistic as well. So what I like about your Facebook page is always, I suppose I just covered it briefly, but it's always very honest, it's always very funny, and you often talk about things in a lot of detail, which really kind of shines a light on some of the issues that you may be facing. So in terms of kind of having an autistic child, how does that sort of affect your life, or I suppose it's part of your life, but how do you deal with that, I suppose, is my question.
Well, it's because of course I have it in 2 ways, because I've got bipolar disorder as well. So I have to deal with myself as well as them, which is difficult. But I find that sometimes I put things on Facebook just because they're funny. Sometimes it's quite cathartic, and actually the funny thing has happened in amongst a whole load of really grim stuff. I've thought, right, let's just focus on that. But and I think it helps that my children have got a great sense of humour. Today I was, I don't know if you've seen people doing this on Facebook, the 7 days of love your spouse challenge, as if it's a challenge to love your spouse for 7 days. And you've got to have a photograph of you with your spouse. Well, I'm single and I've been single for 2 years now. So I decided to do the same challenge, but with a photo of me with like a space next to me where the person would be.
Which is right for Photoshop if anyone's good at that.
Someone already said that. After I posted that, I thought, oh God, I didn't even think of that. But then,
it's just the horse from The Godfather.
Photoshopped some gin in there, assuming a bottle of gin. It makes me sound like such a...
Look, there's certain things when I think of you, I always think of funny, honest. I always think of the way you dress, which is very distinct. And I always think of gin. So I thought I'll buy a bottle of gin.
Do you know what? There are worse ways to be remembered. I just put it all on my tombstone.
Yeah,
that'd be fine.
Yeah.
But I put this photo up today, and then I had to go to the doctors with my daughter, and she had a sore neck, and she said, Mum, feel it there. And I had to feel, and I can never, you know, when someone says, oh, this is swollen, look how swollen this is, I'm thinking, I cannot see anything, I'm useless at that. So I had to feel of her neck, and I said, oh, I'm just not very good at feeling. And she said, is that why you're single?